Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Today we will like to discuss and share about one very good topic, which is why we like digital electronics. For your information, we are taking diploma in electrical engineering at Polytechnic Tuanku Sultan Bahiyah. Actually, we learned this subject in last sem and we find that the subject is interesting, and that's why we choose it to share with you all today. But firstly, we would like to introduce our group member who will be presenting together with me in these topics. I am Muhammad Azim Faiz bin Rozi. We will happily give up all a short introductions about digital electronics, following by Nur Anis Amirah binti Muhammad Mulana, who will talk the advantage of digital electronics, and Muhammad Hasif Amzar bin Sabaruddin will discuss more detail about the subjects that will be the interesting part, and the last but not least, Muhammad Zahin bin Ishaq will give the conclusion about our topics today. Digital electronics or digital electronic circuits are electronics that represent signal by discrete bands of analog levels, whether dense by continuous range as used in analog electronics. All levels within a band represent the same signal states. Because of this discretization, relatively small change to the analog signal levels due to manufacturing tolerance, signal attenuations, or noise do not leave the discrete envelopes, and as a result are ignored by signal state sensing circuit. In most cases, the number of these states is 2, and they are represented by 2 voltage bands, one near a reference value, typically termed as ground or 0 volts, and the other a value near the supply voltage. This corresponding to the false, 0 and true ones, value of the valence domains respectively, yielding binary codes. Digital techniques are useful because it is easy to get an electronic device to switch into one of the number of known states that to accurately reproduce a continuous range of value. Digital electronic circuits are usually made from large assemblies of logic gates, simple electronics representations of Boolean logic functions.
Now I will explain about the advantage of digital circuit. An advantage of digital circuit when compared to analog circuit is that signal represented digitally can be transmitted about degradation due to noise. For example, a continuous audio signal transmitted as a sequence of 1 second and 0 can be reconstructed without error, provided the noise picked up in the transmission is not enough to prevent identification of the 1 and 0. For your information, 1 hour of music can be stored on a compact disc using about 6 billion binary discs. Actually, 1 compact disc can store more than 1 hour of music, depend on its capacity. This diagram shows the area where the data is burned is CD and is calling a data area. In a digital system, a more precise representation of a signal can be obtained by using more binary digits to represent it. When compared to analog system, additional resolution requires fundamental improvement in the linearity and noise characteristic of each step on a signal chain. Another advantage is digital systems are more compact compared to analog system. For example, to use analog multimeter, we have to read scale and calculate manual to get the real value. While when use the digital multimeter, we just read the value that will display on the screen.
Thanks to my friends, now it's my turn to share with you all about our interest in this subject. For us, this is a subject that easy to understand from learning theory until build the circuit. This is because the subject requires logical thinking and most of the circuit use logic gates such as AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, and others. In real, all the gates were embedded in integrated circuit, or normally we call it IC. Okay, you can see a lot of IC are available in the market, and it dependent on the circuit that we want to make. That IC is a device that will control all of the action in the circuit. For example, the LED display board are used to display advertisement, time, ordering, countdown, and other. We can see the LED display board in bank, hospital, building, the circuit board in studio, and other places. The LED display board is one of the electronic circuit using IC as a counter and timer, like this. Other example, the usage of the digital electronic will apply in traffic light system using IC as a timer.
Thank you to my friend that already explained the introduction, functions and advantages in digital electronics. Now we have come to our conclusion. If there is no understanding in digital, logic gates doesn't exist. What happens when logic gate doesn't exist is we cannot create a software or hardware that uses logic gates in it, such as RAM and LCD. These two things are really important to display a message or processing a binary unit to a message. No high technology computers. This is the effect from the earlier problems, logic gate doesn't exist, is a computer cannot operate when there is no RAM or CPU in it. The third problem is technology cannot be developed. Humans cannot process a huge amount of data, but that does not mean that human cannot calculate. We use computers to increase the productivity in our daily work. And the fourth problem is medical engineering technologies will be limited. Okay, in this panel, this is what happens when there is no digital technologies in our life. We use manual calculation instead of calculator. Our desk will be cluttered like that, and safety will not guaranteed. Now we use digital electronics to overcome all these problems, so that will make our life easier. But when we misuse the technologies, humans can become lazy, also lack of discipline. When these two things happens, the productivity of a human will reduce, and we become too dependent to technologies. When human becomes too dependent to this technology, we solve simple calculation using a calculator, and that is not encouraged for us human, because that can reduce our brain activity. And next problem is we do not have enough communication skill between another people, and thus making the people become socially awkward. And this finally, there is no guarantee on our world's future. This is a display of how humans can be lazy. The men in red will use the technology to change their clothes color without even stand up and wear it. Okay, this is my last word. It is not our fault to gain a knowledge, but it is our fault to use the knowledge without wisdom.